Hey, brethren. Do I like Hebrew Israelite camps? No. Why? Because they teach false doctrine. Have I ever met a Hebrew Israelite that belonged to a camp? No. Have I ever saw them preaching? No. Not in person, but I have on YouTube. Why don't I like them? It's not them per se, it's their belief system. The doctrines that they hold are wrong. Some is right, some are wrong. Nobody's perfect, but too many of the doctrines are wrong. So, am I a Hebrew Israelite that belongs to a camp? No. But I want to share with you guys a conclusion that God helped me come into about 2 weeks ago. So, throughout the last 12 years of my life, I have been a huge historian buff. I would pick a country and I would research it to death, and I would obsess over it. And then I wish I was it. I wish I was with those people during that time or whatever I researched. Every ethnic group, because I don't believe in race. There's only one race. It's called the human race, but there are different ethnic groups within the human race, and every ethnic group adds something amazing to the world. And I know it because God's handprint is on diversity. His handprint is on every culture, you know? There's always beauty in it. Every ethnic group has contributed something amazing to the whole entire world. So, a couple years ago, I was obsessed with Japan. And before that, it was India. And before that, it was Nepal. Or, just the Middle East. But my heart has always been Africa. And so, I researched a lot of countries in that continent. And believe you me, it was a lot of work because that continent is huge. But throughout the years, I started researching black people, the black Africans tribe in India, living amongst the people, or like the Aborigines of Australia, or the black Africans in the outback of Japan, or the tribes that are in the bush that haven't been discovered yet. It's quite remarkable. And in that research, I have found a lot of atrocities and a lot of greatness. And I'm so proud to be of a mighty house, the African house, and the Black American house, where my people fought for our rights. And we are a strong people. Black people are very strong people. We are very resilient people. I mean, people try to kill us, rape us, diminish our populations. And, it worked somewhat, but God had other plans. So, I'm just so thankful for God to be a part of this great and mighty house. So, as a Black American, we have this amazing, incredible history. The amount of Black America specifically, which I am, which is my main focus of study, because that is what I am, obviously. And it's our contributions are just not told. And it's amazing. Everyone knows that we created most of the genres in America, like rock, country, pop, R&B, etc., etc., etc. But we just gave America so many inventions in engineering, along with art, and we just made America boom with money and resource, power, and ideas. So, that being said, slavery here has always been a sore subject with me pertaining to God. I'm like, God, why did that happen? That's horrible. Sometimes I read slave narratives. God would answer me. It's like, it was horrible. That's not what I had in mind for mankind, etc., etc., etc. So I've come to learn that slavery isn't my shame. Slavery is white America's shame. Slavery is 100% their shame. It's like, and for a long time, I felt like it was my shame. But it's not my people's fault. We didn't do those horrendous things. It's white America's shame. And it really is. That's just the truth of the matter. But like I said, every ethnic group brings something amazing to the world. So that America's beginning just happens to be horrible. It started with the assassination of a people and the rape of another. Yay, God bless America, the land of the brave and the home of the free. Anyways, so sidebar, black people have only had full rights in America for 55 years. Let that sink in. Anyways, so little by little, God was telling me who I am. So he took me to the Old Testament and told me to read it, and I did, along with the New Testament. And I came across Deuteronomy 28, the chapter. Deuteronomy chapter 28. And the curses that was to fall upon the Israelites if they disobeyed. This is their great enslavement, that would happen if they disobeyed. And they did, as you can tell in scripture. And guess who that description matches? Black people in the transatlantic slave trade. So, do I think that I am a descendant of the Hebrews? Am I an Israelite? Hebrew Israelite. Yes. No, I do not think it. Yes, I know it. God showed me this through a period of a long time, and I was angry. But there's so much. So I'm not going to join a camp. Most Hebrew Israelites, black people who are realizing that they are Hebrews, are not a part of the camps. Just like, sidebar, like most Native Americans don't live on reservations. Most people don't know that. They live outside of reservations. They live in houses and stuff. and you probably seen them. They get mistaken for Hispanic or Filipino or Hawaiian, because I have some Native American friends, so they tell me that. But just like that, a lot of Hebrew Israelite black people are not part of the camps because they preach too much false doctrine. And I'm not affiliated with that. But my belief system that God showed me is that those who belong in the transatlantic slave trade, the black people, are the real Hebrews. The Hebrews in Israel are fake Jews. And when Israel fled from captivity from Roman rule, they fled into Africa. Israel have always fled into Africa. Jesus fled in Africa when people were trying to kill him. You know what I mean? Why? Because the Egyptians were black. Why? Because he was black, and he meshed in with the people well. Israel always fled in Africa in times of trouble. Most of the tribes of Israel are still in Africa. And those in the black people in the transatlantic slave trade, that is God's chosen people. That is God's people. These are the real Jews. And so, I'm not just saying that out of my neck. So in the description below, I provided various resources. So there's a guy specifically that I really like. I am obsessed with his YouTube channel. No, his YouTube channel and his website. His name is Dante Fortson. And I actually spoken with him on Facebook. I texted him back and forth, and he's really helpful. He's giving me like a lot of information. He's really open to converse, so it's really cool. And he provides proof back to back to back on how black people in the transatlantic slave trade were and are Hebrews. So I will also provide for you Instagram pages that I follow that provides more proof, and maybe a couple YouTube channels that provide for you to really just dig deep into, if you wanted to learn about how black people are the black people who are in the transatlantic slave trade are the real Hebrews. So this is something major that I want to declare in my belief system, because God has really shown me this. He's really opened up my eyes. And I feel like if I'm going to be truthful on my channel, which I always am, then this is a major part of my life. And I will be talking about this more in later videos. God willing. So, God bless you, fam.